So, as the discussant for the paper, Employee Attrition Prediction in Indian IT Firms, my task is to critically evaluate both its strengths and limitations while addressing the key questions raised. The paper seeks to move beyond traditional point prediction in employee attrition by integrating confidence intervals into machine learning models. This is a relevant and innovative approach, especially in the context of Indian IT firms where attrition rate remains high. By combining XBoost with bootstrapping, the authors attempt to quantify uncertainty in predictions, thereby providing HR managers with not only outcomes but also their reliability. This is a notable strength as decision making under uncertainty is a crucial challenge in HR analytics. At the same time, several critical issues deserve attention. One of the question raised concerns the weighting of respective factors. The paper identifies variables such as overtime, appraisal ratings, job satisfaction, and work-life balance as important predictors. However, the rationale for how weights are assigned to these variables is not clearly articulated. Were these weights derived strictly from the model, or were they are adjusted based on theoretical reasoning? Without clarity, this is a risk of overstating certain variables' influence on attrition. Another concern is the choice of evaluation metrics. The study reports only four: accuracy, precision, recall, and F1 score. While these are standard, they provide a limited view of model performance. Thus, expanding the set of performance measures would strengthen the paper's claims. The definition of class 1 is also not explicitly stated in the paper. From context, it appears that class 1 refers to employees who left the company, but this should have been clearly defined earlier in the methodology. For non-technical audiences, such ambiguity could lead to a misinterpretation. Regarding the conclusion, while the paper highlights the confidence interval based models reduce false positives and false negatives, the practical implication could be elaborated a little further. For instance, how should HR teams interpret a wide confidence interval compared to the narrow one? How should wage budgets or retention policies shift under these scenarios? Providing concrete examples would make the findings more actionable for practitioners. There are also limitations in the terms of data. The study relies on Kaggle dataset, which although anonymized to mimic Indian IT firms, may not fully capture organizational realities. Real-world dataset from companies could add robustness and external validity. Moreover, the study does not incorporate qualitative dimensions such as employee surveys or interviews, which could enrich the analysis by providing context to the quantitative findings. In terms of contribution, the paper is commendable for bringing statistical inference with machine learning. It adds theoretical value by demonstrating how confidence intervals can improve the interpretability and practical value by offering HR managers a risk-adjusted lens for decision making. However, to achieve greater impact, future research should address the gaps identified here, clarifying factor weighting, expanding performance metrics, validating models with real organizational data, and integrating qualitative insights. Longitudinal studies could also examine how attrition dynamics evolve over time. In conclusion, this paper provides a valuable step forward in attrition prediction. It successfully highlights the importance of moving beyond point estimates and recognizing uncertainty. At the same time, addressing methodological clarity and expanding evaluation frameworks would strengthen its credibility even further. As a discussant, I see the work as promising foundation that can be refined and extended to better serve both the research and practice. Thank you all.